Alrighty, historians, Mr. Holland here. It's later in the day, and part of that is um, AP European history. They had their AP exam today, so this morning I was trying to help them uh, answer any questions they had, be available if anything came up. And so here it is in the afternoon on Wednesday, May 13th. We are working our way through May, and so Monday I talked about how I, got into teaching. Yesterday I talked about why I love history, and then today I'm just going to share a story that I really, to be honest, I've not really shared too much lately because it was 6 years ago, and but I will get to that in a moment. But if you listen to the last 2 days, one of my great loves is people. You just love people, and I think if I can, uh, if there were a job where I could just sit and have coffee with people and hear their stories and share my story, and I think that would just be wonderful. I would love that. Um, that's not to say I don't love my job. I love my job, and I will say I'm ready for summer. I said it. There we go. Okay. And it kind of, as I've talked about when we talked about history, is the beauty of history is it's a story, his story. And it's a true story. And it's the true story of us, the true story of humanity. And I always love that one person's story impacts another. And I think that's just such a beautiful part of humanity and is a beautiful part of history. And I'm just thinking, you might, let's just say you know of someone, um, and you might have an impression of that person. Um, but when you meet them and you learn who they are and you become friends, your impression might change. And I think that's just wonderful is when you really get to see into the depths of someone and you really get to see who that person is. Um, so one reason why I want to share just my story of brain cancer and um, that I didn't even know there was brain cancer until I had it. Um, but one of the things you're going to find in life, as we talked the other day, is that change is there. It's a part of life. It will always be there, whether you like it or not. Life is always changing, and for some of you, life is changing in big ways, or has. For I know for some of you, life has already changed in big ways, and that could be, you've had a broken relationship, whether with, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, could be a family member, or family members have had issues, could be a lost job that your parents had. And I know for some of you this year and the last couple of years has not been easy because you've lost, a loved one this year. And, you're going to find in life that life is never static. Life is always changing. And I hate that because I'm like, can life just stay the same? But it doesn't. Okay. And it one reason why I want to tell you my story is just to give you that hope that some of the changes you're going to go through in life, you're going to have an opportunity to learn, you're going to have an opportunity to grow. And what you do with those changes is going to make all the difference in your life. And so it's kind of interesting. I did not plan this conversation or this week's conversation, Monday, Tuesday, and today, for this particular week. But it is coincidental that yesterday was the 6 year, 6 years ago, yesterday, I found out I was diagnosed with brain cancer. And I had had some issues, some visual issues. I had had one of the most pressing symptoms that I had was um, some issues at night while I was sleeping. And um, some of those things, and one of the things I want to do is I don't want to go through the whole cancer diagnosis and everything like that, all of that. If you are really wanting to find out my life story, there are several videos that are up online, and you can just Google my name and you can Google my book, Anchored in the Storm, and you'll find out a lot more of those specifics. But I just wanted to give you a few things, a few takeaways, because, like I said, life is going to change. And for me, being diagnosed with brain cancer was one of the biggest changes in my life. And I'm going to say it, and don't take it the wrong way, it was one of the best things that ever happened. And what I've seen now, 6 years without cancer, as hard as it's been, has been incredible. And so I want to share that with you, just so that you know life's going to be hard, how you embrace it, how you adapt to it, and how you uh, use it to make your life better and make someone else's life better. It's going to make all the difference. So, just a couple things. I was diagnosed with brain cancer. Um, there was also one of the scans that I had found a mass in my right lung, um, and something somewhat comedic. You have to be able to laugh at some of the things in life. But one of the funny things that would always happen is I'd go in for a procedure and they would be like, okay, here are the side effects. Here's what could happen, but it never happens. Never. Like maybe 1%, maybe two people a year. Every time they would say, okay, here's the side effect. Every time, guess who got it? So, for example, I had they don't know what it was, but I had a mass, a tumor in my lung that is since gone. But I had a biopsy, and they were sticking needles in it and ripping off parts of my lung. I was awake, um, and as I was moving from the table to the wheelchair, I collapsed. My lung had collapsed, and so I'd lost, oxygen. And they said, "Oh, that never happens." Okay, really? Thanks. And then another time I had a spinal tap where they stick needles into your spine while you're awake and take out spinal fluid. And they said, "Well, the hole will close up, and if it doesn't, you're just going to have one of the worst headaches ever." But it never happens. It never, no, no, never happens. What do you think? Yep. I was in class, I was teaching, and had the worst headache. I don't get too many headaches, but I just wanted to sit on the floor and curl up like a baby under my desk and just cry. I mean, it was horrible. And Mrs. Rojas, I called her and I was like, can you get me like a 7 Up or something? Because I was feeling sick. And she was great. And she said, yeah, I'll get you a 7 Up. And then we're going to go to the nurse. And so, she took me to the nurse. So you have to be able to laugh. Maybe after it's happened, we're going to laugh about some of the things about coronavirus, and some of the stupid things we did, and we're just going to have to laugh at ourselves. But so that all happened, and well, I should say I didn't have my spinal tap till after this, but the day after school ended in 2014, I had my first brain surgery, and I would have two that summer, and one was just a couple of weeks before going back to school in the fall. And that fall, I would undergo um, 6 weeks of them radiating my brain, and chemo. I had chemo that I took. Um, it was horrible. It was horrible. I felt horrible, fatigued, tired. Um, but I'll tell you this, and one thing that I love about West Ranch is, for the most part, we're a family, and so many people were so very supportive during that time. And for me, West Ranch was family. West Ranch was normalcy. It was the one place I could go to and feel like life hadn't changed, even though it had drastically changed. And for me, and I'm just kind of rambling, but For me, one of the questions, that we often ask is when something goes bad is why me? And really, I asked that question once, just once, and if I remember right, it was the day I was diagnosed. Because after that moment, it really became, why not me? Why not me? And it has been um, a truly an incredible, incredible journey. I have met people from across the country. I have seen friendships that I probably wouldn't have had. Um, I've also, in some cases, some friendships have changed and, we're not friends anymore. My life has forever changed. I can't really go back to the way life was before, and I wouldn't want to be honest with you. And that's going to happen when we come out of this COVID 19. We are going to be on a different side of history, and we can look back fondly at some of the things that we had, um, but life will not be the same, and it's very much alike. And one of our last assignments will be related to 9/11, September 11th, 2001. You guys will never know what life was like before 9/11. It changed so much in that one day. And not that life was just the most wonderful thing ever, but there were a lot of things that were just so wonderful before that, and that we lost that. And so that's going to happen. And some of the changes are going to be good, and some of the changes are going to be bad. Um, but that's life. And so I really wanted to just say that to you. Um, you can go online, like I said, you can go online, you can Google my name, you can Google my book, and there are several videos and um, articles. I couldn't think of the word. So thank you, brain cancer. Couldn't think of the word. Um, about my battle with brain cancer. You can go and read those and kind of get a little bit more technical. But life has changed, and I'm proud of how most of you have adapted to our present circumstances. I know they're not ideal in any way, and just know that your teachers, I can say our administration, Mr. Crawford and the assistant principals, are going to just find a great way for us to come back and to make next year a great year ahead. So, with that said, because I'm probably putting you all to sleep, you guys go have a great day. Congratulations, AP Euro. You are all done aside for one more thing. And that is it. If you know someone in AP Euro, give them an Air 5 and or not wish them the best, but say congratulations. So you guys take care. I will see you next Monday will be our next YouTube. So see you later, guys. Bye.